in Indiana this week, where there has been an uproar over the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, or RFRA, that many claim will allow businesses to discriminate against gays and lesbians. Indiana's governor tried to answer critics this morning.
Well, let me say, first and foremost, as I've said to each one of them, the Religious Freedom Restoration Act was about religious liberty, not about discrimination. As I said last week, had this law been about legalizing discrimination, I would have vetoed it.
Indiana Governor Mike Pence took 37 minutes to try and roll back 5 days of questions about whether he signed an anti-gay law.
I abhor discrimination. The way I was raised was like most Hoosiers, with the golden rule, that you should do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
As the Indiana Republican aimed to define his new law as not discriminatory, Hoosiers were at lunch and less certain about how to digest their governor's words.
He still hasn't said what he's going to do.
The news conference played on TVs usually reserved for football or music videos at Ollie's Sports Bar in Indianapolis.
I think he talks in circles. I think he realizes he's made a mistake. A lot of us believe that this is truly a backlash for the gay and lesbian marriage laws.
All of this is happening as, and in large part is boiling because, the pinnacle of all college sporting events, the NCAA Final Four Championship, is set to begin this weekend in Indianapolis. And that put an extra spotlight on Indiana's Religious Freedom Restoration Act. On Sunday, Pence appeared on ABC's This Week.
Governor, do you think it should be legal in the state of Indiana to discriminate against gays or lesbians?
George,
it's a yes or no question.
Come on, Hoosiers don't believe in discrimination.
Pence now admits he could have done better. Many loud voices in his state let him know. Gay rights groups held 2 rallies in the past 4 days, this one yesterday, seizing modern Republican watchwords like liberty and also drawing a direct line to civil rights sins of the past.
You will never get me, my family, my friends, or anybody who I know who's social justice or civic minded to agree with a bill that brings Jim Crow back to Indiana.
That's right. With a standing room only crowd on hand Monday, the Indianapolis City Council voted on its own resolution. 9 Republicans joined Democrats like Zach Adamson, who is gay and married.
The Indianapolis City County Council is opposed to the recent passage of RFRA.
Some voices in the Indiana business community were also upset and present. Bill Osterly is the CEO of Angie's List and a big Republican donor.
We're completely opposed to this measure. We want to see it. We want to see it repealed, or we want to see changes to the Civil Rights Code. And that's because our chief asset is our people.
Angie's List has ended its plans for a major expansion, and it joined with 8 other high-profile Indiana companies, including Eli Lilly and Roche, to urge Governor Pence to reform the law. And rock band Wilco has canceled a May concert.
Because of RFRA, which they decide is discrimination, they've decided it. Not a court, no lawsuit. Wilco, this band that you never heard of, they've decided it's discrimination. So clearly, must be.
But many conservatives in Indiana, like radio talk show host Tony Katz, are crying foul.
If the intent is to ensure you have the right in America to say no and not get, attacked for it, well, then okay, I'm fine with that. But the bill itself I'm not in favor of, because I'm not interested in legislation to fix a cultural issue, which is this ability to say no.
Potentially historic moment at a time when Hoosiers see themselves as charging forward, moving past outdated factories, pouring billions into modern Indianapolis that has become a sports powerhouse and business magnet. Now that story is overshadowed by another.
It's not going to end until Indiana, the United States, decides to quit drawing a line down the middle and saying, I'm right, you're wrong.
But if you have no concept of what the word clarification means, I don't know what the end is. I really and truly don't know. That's what's making this, in terms of a news story, even without the people who are just there to try and hurt, it makes it a spectacular soap opera.
And Lisa joins us now from Indianapolis. So, Lisa, we heard the governor say this morning he wants to clarify the language in that law. What happens now?
A lot of action in the next couple of days, Judy. I just got off the phone with the House Speaker's office. Here's the plan. They've cleared the way for possible clarification language to work through the House, a vote likely tomorrow or on Thursday. But here's the problem right now, Judy. They don't have the language agreed upon. Meetings are underway. It sounds like they could go late into the night. That language will be important not just for conservatives and for the state of Indiana, but also for the NCAA tournament. Because if gay rights activists don't like this language, they don't think that it protects them enough. I know, and I've been told, that they will plan protests during the NCAA tournament this week. And I can't stress enough around here how important the NCAA is. Obviously, we know it nationally, but you really feel it in this town, Judy. Indianapolis is the NCAA's headquarters, and NCAA only pays $1 a year to the city to stay here. So it's a real cornerstone that Indianapolis prizes.
So it's clear that's adding a real sense of urgency. Yeah. Lisa, you were telling me earlier today, you've been talking to a lot of Indiana residents. How do they feel about all this, about all the attention they're getting over this controversy?
You know, I think the thing that surprised me the most, Judy, and that I heard a lot from conservatives, liberals alike here, all kinds of people, they say they just don't like to be in the spotlight here. They really are used to Indiana being off the radar. They like to think of themselves as a state that's kind of a best-kept secret. And in general, they don't like making national headlines. But another thing I heard from folks, Judy, is that they think they are at the center of a national moment. You know, Indianapolis, I didn't know this before I came here, their motto or their nickname is the Crossroads of America. And I think there's a sense in this town that they're now at the crossroads of the debate over rights in America.
Lisa Desjardins with some very fine reporting from Indiana. Thank you.
Thank you.
There are even more questions today about how pilots are